My name is Joyce Brookshire, and I was born and raised here in Cabbagetown. My mother worked in the cotton mill for 29 years. When the mill at one time owned all the houses, but in the mid-50s they sold them, and most of them went to outside landlords. And that's when the houses started to go down, and they just kept going down throughout the years. But a couple of years ago, some community people got together and decided to do something about it. So in order for the longtime residents to live here, we knew that we had to introduce home ownership to the neighborhood, because most of the folks were renters. So we formed what is called Cabbagetown Revitalization and Future Trust. We're a land trust, and we build houses. We built these 6 houses on Savannah Street, and we've rehabbed 5 houses. Another thing that we're planning to do is redevelop the old cotton mill. We have a public-private partnership, and this picture shows a little bit of how it's going to look. We intend to have housing in there as well, low moderate income housing. So I'll tell you a little bit about the history of the neighborhood, and it's called the Cabbagetown Ballad. We came in 1885 to work in the new cotton mill, for we had heard the pay was good, there were many jobs to fill. We said goodbye to our mountain homes, there to return no more. But we brought with us the way of life that we had known before. We're a mountain clan called Cabbagetown in the city of Atlanta, GA. And if it be the will of God, it's where we'll always stay. Sometimes the way was hard to bear, our lives were never our own. To the owner of a cotton mill, your soul to him belongs. But when the bad times got us down and good times were so few, we'd sing old songs about our mountain homes. Our music would see us through. We're a mountain clan called Cabbagetown in the city of Atlanta, GA. And if it be the will of God, it's where we'll always stay. And now the smokestack smokes no more, no whistle blows at dawn. They've taken all they wanted from us, packed up their cotton and gone. And we are left to live our lives in a world that's never too kind. But the strength of a mountain's in us all, and a new day we will find. We're a mountain clan called Cabbagetown in the city of Atlanta, GA. And if it be the will of God, it's where we'll always stay. We're a mountain clan called Cabbagetown in the city of Atlanta, GA. And if it be the will of God, it's where we'll always stay.
Now tell us a little bit more about the place where we are.
Well, it's a unique kind of place. It's unique, I think, especially from the rest of Atlanta, mainly because it was closed off. It's 1 mile from downtown Atlanta, but it was closed off for so many years. The boundaries of the Oakland Cemetery, the cotton mill, the railroad tracks, and Memorial Drive. That's the way people, you know, we were able to maintain our culture for so long. There used to be so many stores up and down Carroll Street, you know, where people did their shopping. Nobody had to go downtown or go anywhere else, you know, to do their shopping. On Saturday afternoon, it was just like downtown.
But when you were a child, what schools did you go to, or did you feel like somebody who wasn't accepted by the rest of the population?
Well, we were always called hillbillies, you know, and we went first to Grant Park Elementary, and to Grant Park Primary, then to Grant Park Elementary, and then to Roosevelt. And no, I never did feel quite comfortable at school. There was always that something that kind of made you feel like you were second-class citizens, especially when they knew you were from Cabbagetown. But you know, at the time, we all banded together, and it was, you know, we got through school okay.
Cut. Beautiful. I like that. We got through it okay.
No, not that one.
Okay. Hey, Miss Patterson, how are you?
Hey, how you?
All right.
Just fine.
Whoa!
Hey. Okay, hold it.
Want me to take your cap off?
Ducks about getting lost now. No, I'm gonna get the rain cover. Okay, be right back.
Why do you need two microphones?
Well, this one's a better microphone up here. It's more directional. But sometimes we can use that.
Did you ever get to taste of Leroy? Did you?
No.
Leroy McCall.
Yes, he was over this morning.
What?
Oh, we talked with him for a long time.
Did you?
Yeah, he was very helpful. He's a smart guy.
What time is it?
It's 5 minutes to 4.
So what are you gonna do?
So I'm trying it out.
If it did from the right, it
Yeah.
drops down there.
Just a
Well,
few.
if it gets wet, it can get real voltage real fast and turn me into a hamburger. Of electronic equipment, when it gets wet, it zap.
How fast?
Benjamin Franklin and that episode.
Hey,
Miss Patterson, you remember my dad back during the strike?
Yes, I did.
You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Well, when they come out on strike, why, everybody went to his store and he fed them all, so they went back to work. He said they had something to eat. I used to trade with your daddy years ago. And you had an uncle, I forgot his name.
Uncle Barney.
Uncle Barney, he was there. He'd always deliver the groceries.
Right.
And I talked to my sister a while ago when she come out on the strike. And Cleve, you know Cleve Callahan?
No, I don't really remember that.
Well, he come out on strike, but they put him back on the guard somewhere. You know, he worked out there as a guard while they was out on strike. But I don't know what people done to him been for your daddy taking care of him in time of strike, because back then you couldn't go and buy groceries with that money. But he took care of all of them. And your uncle that lived with the groceries. Yeah, I remember him well.
Why do you think he did that?
'Cause I think he wanted to see the mill go back to work. All of them go back in the mill.
Yeah.
They all went back. They won strike and went back.
Were you working at the mill at the time?
My husband, my boy worked there. My oldest boy worked there back before the strike. But that's when Roger's store was down there. And you know, they give them little coupon books.
Yeah.
And we'd go there and buy our groceries with them. I think he made about $7 or $8 a week working down there. He worked till he went in service, and then he went in service. My oldest boy. And my husband worked there at the strike. I never did work there but 2 nights. I worked 2 nights and quit.
That's pretty rough work, huh?
No, it was all right, but I had to take care of kids in daytime, and I couldn't sleep, and that was it.
When were you born?
I was born in 1901. I'm 88 years old. I'll be 89 November the 11th.
Could you tell us something about the Depression?
Oh, it's bad. We eat what we could get. We have to go to the bread house and get bread to live. Of course, my husband worked on WPA back then, and we didn't have very much to live on, but we always got by.
How long have you lived in this house?
I've lived here 67 years in September. I moved in here when James was 3 weeks old. I moved up on Ty Street and stayed 9 months, but I moved back down here. Then when they convicted me out of this house, Tom West, so I went to my boys and lived and put my stuff in storage, and I moved back here. I guess I'll be here as long as I live. I hope I am.
Could you ask her about what kind of groceries they got during the strike?
Okay. What kind of groceries did they get back during the strike?
Salmons and cow's tongues and eggs and butter. We have to go to the city auditorium and bring it back, you know, how we get it home. Back then, my husband sold coal, so come giving away coal, and he had to go on WPA, and he worked on his. And the days would be so bad that when he couldn't work, he'd come home and watch my children. I'd walk to the city hall up to Oakland Cemetery and sew up there. I'd make a shirt for a shirt, make one for one. That's where I kept my young'uns clothes.
The mill was closed down then, was it?
Huh?
Why did you have to go up there? Was the mill closed down?
The mill, no, the mills were running then, but I'd go up there and sew. They had a sewing shop up there in the city hall, and I'd go up there and sew. The lady's name that run that sewing shop, her name was Miss Lyons.
What was the store like back then?
You mean a grocery store?
Yeah, that store.
Oh, we didn't get our stuff in packages. We'd get in paper bags, you know, the sugar and stuff, and sacked up for you back then. It wasn't in packages. And get our salt the same way. We'd get his sacked up.
How about that?
Yeah. Now the flour, I think his was in sacks, but we had the flour we got wasn't white flour like it is now. It was colored flour, you know. Just wasn't white flour, and it'd be plain flour. We used a lot of salmons and things like that. Salmons wasn't a dime a can
I
back
was
then.
just about to ask you how much the salmon was
Dime a
back
can. And I think sugar was a nickel a pound. And you could get a box of snuff for a nickel, a great big box. And chewing tobacco. My husband chewed tobacco sometimes, and it was real cheap too. And lard was 5 cents a pound. Now, Mr. Ladbury ran a store up here in time of that, and I made soap. I made soap in the old black wash pot out there. And he asked me one day, did I know how to make soap? And I told him, yeah. And he gave me the red seal eye and the old stale lard that couldn't sell. And I'd bring it down here and make a soap. And after I'd get the soap made, I'd cut it out in blocks and dry it out and wrap it in newspaper, and he'd sell it up at the store. Yeah. Yeah, it was hard times back then, but we always managed to have a little something. But back then, people didn't want the big piles of stuff. They got one thing, they're satisfied with it. And you get a big old pile of beans for a dime or a nickel. Now look at them.
Did you have a garden?
Yeah, I raised the prettiest garden you ever seen back here in the back. I raised, I think it was 25 big old pumpkins at one time I had back there. And I raised beans and corn, and my neighbors would come in, they'd want to buy it, and I never would sell them. And one day was a woman come back here, and I had my beans broke up. I canned a lot of beans and made pickle beans. And she asked me to sell her them beans. I said, honey, I don't want to sell anything out of my garden. That's something I don't do. And she gave me $2 for that big pan of beans. Carried away. But I ain't never sold anything out of my garden except that, and she just give me that. I always give it away. And I raised celery, the prettiest celery you ever seen. And in the wintertime, when it go get cold, I'd take half-gallon fruit cans and turn it down over and put dirt around it and have celery all the winter. I dried apples right up there on the porch. Then there's well, it ain't like it was then. You could drive between there's a driveway. And I'd put my screen swar down the sheet. I'd dry apples, make apple pies, have them for winter. I'd do my own churning. I got my own churns. I churn my own meal. That boy that died on Boulevard, his daddy, who was he? He'd bring my milk.
Sanders?
No. His boy died down on Carroll on Boulevard. What was his name? He's a milkman through here.
So you didn't have your own cow?
But the lady on the other side, she had her own cow, Miss Lyons. Yeah, she had her cow kicking. And she had goats and chickens. I ain't had no cow ever moved here. I wish I could think that boy's name. You know, he died with that bad disease down on Boulevard. What was his name? Oh, I can't think of his name. But he lived way down there in Summers, and he'd come here and bring milk in. I'd get the milk and churn it.
Could you talk about your medicine at the time?
A what?
Medicine.
We went to City Hall and got our medicine. Yeah, we went up there and got here. I think Mr. Smith I think he was a doctor. And then we got medicine from down at the clinic at Fulham Bay Cotton Mill, too, Dr. Heiser. Yeah, we'd go up there and get our medicine at City Hall. Back then, we didn't use much medicine. Then we took whatever we could buy at the store, you know.
Was the store a meeting place, the way it is now?
Huh?
Was the store a meeting place?
Meeting? No, not particularly.
Could you talk about how you all got together? Did you have music, concerts? I gathered there was a bandstand.
We'd have prayer meeting here at my house every Monday morning. Holiness people come in, and all them people that used to come dead and gone now. And I got an old piano in there, and Miss Burdett, she played piano. And Miss Alice Thomas, she'd come out Peachtree Street, and she'd meet here on this porch, and all the little kids would gather here, and she'd teach them Bible school here on my front porch. She's dead now.
Tell me about your own education.
I didn't have none. I had to work. I lived down on the farm, and I went to school and learned I learned arithmetic good, but I never could learn anything else. But we had to work. We had to pick cotton, whatever it was to do. Now my sister, my oldest sister, and my baby sister, they got to go to school and they got a good education, but I didn't.
Did you learn to read?
Nope. Never did learn how to read. All I knew was work. We'd have to go and take a big old, you wouldn't believe this, but so me and my sister would take a 2-horse turning plow. You seen them? Hitch 2 mules to it And she'd drive and I'd hold the hounds and we'd turn the land.
I thought that was mandatory.
Well, it wasn't back then. We had to do it. Because our dad died and left us. Of course, my mama was alive and we'd wash for people, clean houses and all such as that. And quilt, we could still quilt just like we do now. So that's about all Sometimes we get to go fishing and pick blackberries. We pick blackberries and sell them $1 a gallon. I bought 2 pints the other day and it cost me $4.
Times changing.
Huh?
Times changing.
It's changed. But we can a lot of stuff out on the farm because we raised our own hogs, had our own cows out on the farm. But we live 10 miles above Gainesville in Hall County. I live here till I got married and I moved to, I've got a little town I moved to. And then moved here to Atlanta and been here ever since. But I never was out of Hall County until I moved to Atlanta.
Okay, I think that's big help. Now, Jamie,
We need to do reverse questions.
Okay, right.
How about
Just
if I take the kids out?
Okay. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, okay, that's just nodding. Huh?
You got to inspire him. Tell him another story.
Well, what you can do is ask a couple of the questions that I didn't get.
Like what there?
What was the store like?
Yeah, what was the store like back in during the strike?
All right. You know, had shelves and everything. Stuff on. Boy, I remember your dad so well.
Yeah.
He was a good man, Cleo.
Well, thank you very much.
I don't know what people done for him, didn't you, in feeding.
Yeah, I understand he did a lot of that. I didn't realize it till just recently, though. You know.
Yeah,
No, about the strike. No,
Lord of mercy. Jimmy Simpkins got her leg broke over there.
really.
She lived up here on Pearl Street a long time after. Well, she's been dead about 10 years, I guess.
Miss Simpkins.
Miss Simpkins.
Yeah, I remember her.
Well, she got her leg broke kind of straight.
Well, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a question, right? Can you holler one out there in there?
I forgot what it was. Oh, how long? Yeah.
Oh,
I said,
yeah. Her daddy was my husband a long time. Now, I ain't gonna say hurt George feelings, but he was a good-looking man.
Yeah.
He was a good-looking man, a good man. Him and Frank pedaled together, and they'd go to the ball, explore together, stay weeks at a time. Joshua was saying he was a wonderful person.
Did you tell them how long you've lived in this house?
I lived here, my count is 67 years, because I moved into here when James was 3 weeks old. I moved up on Ty Street and stayed 9 months and back down here. When I moved in here, I was paying $7 a month, and now I'm paying $250. But I had to move away, you know, again, and after Mr. Tom West convicted me. I was in Tennessee with my daughter, and she had cancer, and I was up there with her, and I had my rent paid up a month and a half. And I called them and asked them, I felt like there's something wrong. And I called Grady Gunn. I said, now I know Grady, you'll tell me the truth. I said, what happened? He said, well, put your stuff out, but it's got back in the house. But when I come back home, I had to come back home and go to court, and my stuff was in boxes. Everything I had was packed in boxes. And I had to put it all out again. I stayed here then up till I was after Christmas, and then I moved away and come back then 2 years and a half.
Well, back during the Depression, do you remember any people getting evicted from their houses?
Nope. Wasn't paying much rent then, they could afford to pay it.
But the houses were all owned by the company then, weren't they?
No, that and up there was. And there's 3 down the street, ain't there? And one up here on above the church, or two above the church. And that's all houses down this year. This here house was built by Russ Moore. He lived up here on Ty Street, a big old fine house. And he told me when I moved in here that this house was 50 years old, and according to it now, it's about 120 years old, this house. Now, I don't know, I just know what he told me. But I know I've been here near about 100.
Do you do all your own gardening?
Yeah, do my own work, own housework. I like little Gene Hunter coming here a while ago. Sometimes he comes back for me. Yeah, I did all my work. I can't walk nowhere much, but they come and get me every morning, carry me up to the mission, and I'll go up there and quilt.